everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. .points, 5 rebounds. Welcome to Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, D. Broussard. Man, the Pelicans are about to make a huge coaching decision. Now, as I said before, the Pelicans have to nail this next coaching hire if we're going to improve as a basketball team. The Pelicans are definitely going to have to nail this coaching hire. Now, there are a number of candidates whose names have been mentioned and tied to the Pelicans as possible candidates for this head coaching job. And today, I'm going to give you those names. I'm going to give you my opinion on those names. And I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But there are a lot of names that are being mentioned. And one name, to me, is a huge surprise. I definitely wasn't expecting this name to be mentioned as a possible candidate, but let's dive into it. Darvin Ham. Now, obviously, Darvin Ham's name has been mentioned a lot as possibly becoming the Pelicans' next head coach. Now, Darvin Ham would definitely bring championship experience to the Pelicans. Darvin won a championship in the bubble with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020. So he definitely would bring championship experience to the Pelicans. And also, he would definitely bring defense to the Pelicans because Darvin is a defensive-minded coach. So he would definitely bring defense to the Pelicans. But Darvin has struggled on the offensive side of the basketball. I think that was the main knock towards Darvin during his time with the Lakers, is that his offensive sets have been staggered or stagnant, I would say, during his time as the head coach. So his offense still questionable. So I feel like if the Pelicans were to go in that route and hire a guy like Darvin Ham, then the Pelicans would definitely have to make sure that he has an offensive-minded coach on his staff as well, because a good offensive-minded coach, I would say, because we know that Darvin is definitely going to be defensive-minded. So he's going to be good on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, we definitely going to have the right assistant on his staff to be able to win and get to the playoffs. Now, also, Jamal Mosley name has been mentioned as a possible candidate as well for this Pelicans head coaching job. Now, obviously, Jamal Mosley is currently the Magic head coach. There's been a lot of talk about Jamal Mosley possibly not returning to the Magic after this season just because of their star player, Paolo Banchero, has been publicly criticizing Jamal Mosley throughout the season as far as his coaching goes. And as we know in the NBA today, a lot of times when the stars start criticizing the coaches don't return. So it's a huge, huge possibility that Jamal Mosley may not return as the head coach for the Orlando Magic. Now, as far as Jamal, I feel like he is a proven young player builder with the Orlando Magic. Obviously, having all those young guys, he's been able to build those guys up and continuously get them to the playoffs. He has improved his record season by season. But I think for me, the only knock towards Jamal Mosley, and this is just my personal opinion on him, I just kind of feel like Jamal Mosley has shown some improvements, but I feel like at this point in his coaching tenure with the Orlando Magic, I feel like he should be a little bit better by now. I feel like these last couple seasons, the Magic have made the playoffs, but it seems like almost every season they're fighting to get into the play-in, or they're a play-in team, 8 seed, 7 seed, something like that. So I feel like Jamal, to me, he still hasn't shown that he can take his team to the next level. Because during his time, like I said, they've always been kind of at the bottom of the East, still making the playoffs, but they haven't really come out to be a top 4, top 5, top 3 type of team under his coaching. So that's my only knock towards Jamal Mosley. I just don't feel like he's that elite just yet. Now, obviously, you can say that the Magic don't really have a whole lot of talent. I've said that before, in my opinion. I don't feel like the Magic have a whole lot of talent. I feel like they still need to try to find the right guys to build around Paulo Banchero. Um, I feel like they definitely need a new GM, in my opinion. But hey, that's on the Magic. I'm a Pelicans fan, but I feel like they definitely have to find a new GM because I don't feel like he's done a good job at all building this team around Paulo Banchero. So I definitely say that the talent may be a part of Jamal Mosley not really being able to take the team to the next level. And that's my only knock towards him as possibly becoming the head coach. And as we know, the Western Conference is way tougher than the Eastern Conference. So that's my thing with Jamal Mosley. Another guy, this was a surprise for me. Rajon Rondo has been mentioned as a possible Pelicans head coaching candidate. Yes, Rajon Rondo, the former point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans, name has been mentioned as a possible head coaching candidate in this Pelicans head coaching search. I definitely wasn't expecting this at all. Didn't even think that Rajon Rondo was even considering being a head coach. Now, obviously, I knew that he was on Doc Rivers' staff this season as an assistant coach alongside Doc Rivers. Um, I didn't think that he would be, jumping in the head coach, uh, trying to be a head coach, I would say, this soon. But obviously, Rajon is a very respected player, respected guy around the NBA. Obviously, Rajon Rondo has very high basketball IQ. And I feel like Rajon Rondo has always been a coach, even during his playing days on the bench and things of that nature. You can always see him coaching up guys, screaming and hollering just like a coach. So I feel like Rajon Rondo was ultimately at some point gonna become a head coach in the league. He's just one of those guys that just have that head coaching type pedigree about him. Now, obviously, Rajon would definitely bring championship DNA to the Pelicans because Rajon did win a championship in Boston and also with the Lakers in the bubble as well in 2020. And he has an elite basketball IQ, of course. And my only thing with Rajon Rondo is he has no coaching experience. So I feel like it would be a smart hire, but also a huge risk because you really don't know what are you gonna get out of him as a head coach. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think coaching experience really matters in the NBA anymore, to be honest, because you look at a guy like JJ Redick, who didn't have any coaching experience at all. And he was hired as the Lakers head coach. And the Lakers played pretty well this season. And, they made the playoffs in the Western Conference. So I feel like at this point in the NBA, coaching experience really doesn't matter. And it's also, like I said as well, I feel like the league is starting to go more in a young coaching direction. That's just what I see on the sidelines, more young coaches. So I'm saying that because I spoke about Billy Donovan possibly becoming the head coach, but I just don't think the Pelicans are going to spend the type of money that Billy Donovan may be looking for to become a head coach. I don't think the Pelicans are looking to spend a whole lot of money on the next coach. So the Billy Donovan idea, to me, I feel like it would be an awesome hire, a great hire, but I just don't think the Pelicans are gonna pay the type of money that Billy Donovan is gonna be looking for to become the head coach. And I'm sure with a guy like Billy Donovan, he may want control of the like players or have some control in not drafting, but trading or just, have some control as far as the decision making with the team. And I just don't think the Pelicans are gonna allow him to do that. So uh like I said, the older coaches are more uh established. I think they look for more when they take on head coaching jobs. And I just don't think the Pelicans are gonna be looking to do that. So um and as we know, James Borrego still, I would say, probably the top candidate in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because James Borrego has been uh, a part of the organization for the last couple of years. The guys are really familiar with him as far as the players go. Um, they're very familiar with him. They spoke very highly about him during the press conference. Joe Dumars also spoke very highly about James Borrego. So, in my opinion, I honestly think that James Borrego is gonna be the next head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. I could be wrong, but I just feel like I I feel like James Borrego still has a strong case. He does. Now, obviously, if we do decide to go on that route with James Borrego, we're gonna have to find him a defensive minded guy that can build us a good defense and make us better on the defensive end. Because as I said, that's always been a knock towards James Borrego is not being much of a good defensive coach, more of an offensive side coach. So I just feel like we definitely would have to get him somebody that can be a good defensive minded coach to pair up with James Borrego. But as of right now, in my opinion, I feel like James Borrego is still the top candidate for the Pelicans head coaching job. I'm gonna be honest, man. I do. But I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Should Darvin Ham become the next head coach, or who do y'all feel should be the next head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans? I did see a lot of people commenting on Instagram underneath that report about the possibility of Rajon Rondo becoming the Pelicans head coach. And it looked like a lot of people really like the fact that Rajon Rondo could possibly become the next head coach. A lot of people really like Rondo from what I saw. So I don't know, man. What y'all think? Who's gonna be the next Pelicans head coach? And now, obviously, it's been reported, and I read the other day that the Pelicans do plan on starting their head coaching search within about 2 weeks. So I'm sure uh within the next week or so, we're gonna start seeing more names popping up. Especially with the playoffs, guys getting bounced out the playoffs and stuff like that. Teams are gonna make moves, possibly fire coaches. So it's definitely gonna be more names that's gonna be popping up along the way. So um I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Jump in the comments, let me know what y'all feel, what y'all think. Who should be the next head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans? Like I said, honestly, I think James Borrego is probably gonna remain the head coach. That's just me. But we'll see, man. But like always, man, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, the all new Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. Shout out to everybody that's already subscribed to the Pelicans Flock. And as long as y'all keep subscribing, I'm gonna keep bringing y'all this content. Yeah, man. I'm out.